about to talk about is a principle for all relationships everywhere, not just for our children. But I'm going to talk about this in the from the perspective of being a parent. And if you haven't already watched I think it was a 4-minute video that I shared in the parenting group, watch it later on. But basically it's around saying you're sorry. And I want to open up discussion, okay? Because I have already done a video, but I want it to be available. It's a really good, a really strong thing to start to implement into your parenting and to really begin to teach our kids to become conscious and just to be aware of themselves, aware of their own emotions, and to let them know that it's okay to feel all of those emotions. Sometimes their reactions to the emotions aren't okay, but it is okay to feel them. And one of those is, society has taught us that whenever we offend somebody, we should worry more about the fact that we offended them rather than why they offended us in the first place. And so we should care, hey Lisa and Si. Oh, I could say something right there, but I won't. Look who's on the line, I'll say. Instead of so what we do is we've been programmed to say, you need to say you're sorry. Tell him you're sorry. You need to say sorry. You're not going out until you've said sorry. And essentially what we're doing is we're teaching our children to speak empty words, because isn't it true that more than half the time, probably 90% of the time that you say sorry, you don't even mean it. And the kid doesn't mean it. They're just saying it to get out of trouble. All right, if I have to say sorry to not get my consequence or to get out of my, whatever it is that I'm in, the situation I'm in, oh, well, sorry. But it's so empty, it's incongruent, it's not authentic, and it takes them further away from learning how to be true to themselves, not closer to it. It takes them away from authenticity, not closer to it. Your phone cut out, Marinella. No worries. Good to have you back. So, I'm going to suggest that we stop telling our kids to say they're sorry. And even husbands, wives, friends, even yourself. Stop saying you're sorry when you're not. Be true to yourself. So when we're demanding them to say that they're sorry, you need to say sorry. What we're basically, how they'd feel in the situation. Yeah, well, here's what we do, right? What we're basically saying when we're demanding that they say sorry is we're saying, forget how you really feel. Just dismiss the fact that you're angry. Choke off your frustrations. Just numb yourself to your own feelings right now. Care more about what society says you should do. Pretend like your feelings don't exist. Override whatever it is you do feel and say sorry because someone else wants you to. And we're literally teaching them to shut down their feelings. You know what that teaches them? It teaches them that they're not worthy to feel those things. They start to go, it mustn't be okay for me to feel this. I must be wrong. So if I feel this and I shouldn't, then maybe I'm a bad person. Maybe I get things wrong and, it's all my fault and then you're telling me to say sorry, but I don't feel like I'm sorry. So now I'm reiterating, well, I don't feel sorry. I'll say it to get out of trouble, but man, I mustn't be right because I'm not feeling the way that you're wanting me to feel. All right, is this making sense? If this is making sense to you so far, do me a favor, double tap your screen. Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, all these love hearts will start going, and it lets me know whether you're understanding, whether you are getting something out of it. That's how I get feedback from you in terms of knowing how long to stay on elaborating on a topic. Cool? And feel free to make a comment at any time. I want tonight to be a bit of an open discussion, more so than just me talking. Like I said, this video is in the Powerful Parenting Facebook group, so you can go and look. So what do we do instead then? Instead of teaching them to say sorry, we teach them to be sorry. All right? Wouldn't it be better if we teach them how to be so conscious of what they just did that they became aware of how their words or their actions made someone else feel. And as soon as they have that awareness, they genuinely feel sorry. Oh, wow, I didn't mean for that to hurt your feelings. Like when I called you that name, they're thinking to themselves, like, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I was just trying to have some fun, all right, or whatever it might be. So what we want to say then instead is, let's say you have one child. I'll use this in the example in the video. I'll use the same one just to keep it simple. All right, let's say one child has acted out and hit the other child because the other child wasn't giving them a turn or took their toy away from them or something like that. Something that made them frustrated. So child A makes child B frustrated. Child B acts out. Normally child B gets in trouble because they acted out. and we don't teach them how to deal with and process that emotion they just felt. So what we want to say is something like, we want to teach them how to find descriptive words. Hang on a second. What's this here? Descriptive words around how they feel. You know what? Tell her how you really feel. Tell her that she made you angry when she wouldn't give you a turn and you felt like she was being really unfair. Tell her that. Or, tell her that it really hurt your feelings when she called you that name because it felt like that, it was a put down and that she was putting you down and that hurt your feelings and it's not okay and I'm going to defend myself and it's not okay for you to hurt my feelings. Tell her that. Tell her what you really think. Even when your kids get angry at you and they yell and scream at you, don't just stop that behavior. Turn around and go, you know what? Or they come up and they hit you or they, whatever it might be. Turn around and go, you know what? I can see you're frustrated right now. Very frustrated. Something I've done has really frustrated you. Tell me how you feel. Okay? So now what happens then is instead of child B being the one in trouble who needs to say sorry because they hit child A, child B is then able to describe to child A why they're feeling. You know what that does? It makes child A have a moment of consciousness. And they go, you know what? Well, I'm sorry. They genuinely get a moment. Child B is not even really the one in trouble, or the one that really, if anyone should be saying sorry, child B may not be the one to have to say sorry or to be sorry. Child A. Because child B says to child A, you made me, what you said just made me feel like this, or that made me angry, or I felt angry when no one makes you feel anything. We'll do that topic another day. But in this instance, that made me feel like this. I want to express myself. Let them express themselves. You know why they get angry and they hit? They've not been taught any other way to deal with how they feel. And so that is just an outward expression of what they won't let themselves feel. When we won't let ourselves feel something and we don't know how to process what we are feeling and we won't allow ourselves to feel it because we've been taught that it's wrong and we shouldn't feel it, you know what? It bottles up so hard we can't deal with it anymore and we just lash out with it. So what the real problem isn't the lashing out, it's in not knowing what to do instead of that. Then once we can describe to other people how what they might have done or said really did have an effect on us, we get to have our own moment of consciousness eventually where we go, well, why did that affect me? Why did I allow that to affect me? And child A gets a moment of consciousness to be able to go, well, hey, you know what? Thanks for letting me know that hurt your feelings because it wasn't my intentions. And you know what? So then the word is next time. Add next time into the sentence. Next time, I'll be more aware that you're waiting for a turn and I'll make sure I give you a turn sooner. Next time, I'll find another way to have fun rather than calling you a name. Okay, child B then goes, if they already have acted out and they already have hit them or they've called them a name because they had hurt feelings in the first place, again, descriptive language. You know what? I'm genuinely sorry that I hit you. Next time, I will tell you how I feel instead of hitting you. So let's just bring in sentences into all of our parenting. And if you're a teacher on the line, if you're an uncle, an auntie, a grandparent, whatever it is that you are, let's just, really bring this consciousness into our lives, and that includes into our children's lives. Let's not teach them to say sorry, but let's teach them to have a moment of consciousness where they are aware of what just took place, what the effect of that was on themselves, and what the effect of that was on the other person, and that if they are genuinely sorry for that, because it wasn't their intentions, they have genuine remorse, let them be sorry. And even when they are sorry, they don't even have to say sorry. They might choose another. Oh, let me give you a perfect example. Is this something you think should be done with children of all? Definitely, 100%. We have done this. I didn't do this with the eldest until maybe she was 4. That I learned. Our 4-year-old, we've been doing this for ages, 2 years. You can do it with everybody. No one has to say they're sorry. You know what? If you genuinely are sorry, you'll feel the need to say that. And you know how your children learn when to say sorry? By watching you when you say sorry. After you've done something you shouldn't have done or you didn't want to do, or in a moment of frustration, you be the one to set the example. Don't just try to, be their leader. Be the example. Don't just teach the principle. Be the principle. Be what you're asking them. Make sure that you fulfill the expectation that you have of them first. It's your job to fill that expectation first. So when you are angry and you lash out, turn around and stop. Catch yourself in the moment and genuinely say sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. because I yelled at you before, and I yelled at you because I was feeling frustrated, but next time I will find a better way to deal with my frustration so that I can tell you how I feel, but without it hurting your feelings also. I'm sorry, I made a bad choice. And next time, I'll make sure, I'll do my best to make a choice that helps me get what I want, but doesn't hurt your feelings at the same time. Be that. Be vulnerable. Let your children see what real people are. Be a real person. So, let me answer some questions for you. All right, now let me give you, while you guys are, maybe putting some questions in, let me give an example of something that happened to us tonight as a family. And this was just a great example and one of the reasons I just really felt like, okay, this message is still strong. There must be some energy around this right now, and I wanted to come on here and talk about it. So we went out for dinner tonight, and there was like a little skill tester game there. The kids wanted a couple of dollars to go to play in it, and we said no. And one of our children, come and snuck some money out of my purse and went and did it anyway. And so then another child, the eldest one, then came and told me that happened. And I said, well, don't you say anything. Let me handle that. And so the one who took the money, who snuck the money, she came over to the dinner table at some point. And I said, oh, did you just have a go in the game, did you? I said it in a happy voice so that she wouldn't be afraid of telling me the truth. Oh, did you just have a go in the game? She goes, yeah. I said, where'd you get the money from? And she went, oh, in your purse, like as though I was going to go, oh, you little devil, and, make it fun. And I just let her, with my vibration, I gave her a very strong message. I said, really? No way. No, you're too much of an incredible person to do something dishonest. I'm not sure if I can even believe that you would do that. And then I was just quiet, and her face, she had a moment of consciousness. I didn't make her feel bad. She was disappointed with herself. And then, we had this little discussion. I didn't want to punish her. Right, that's it. You know what? Do you know what the best punishment was? You know what the lesson was for her? The way she was feeling. She had to process that. And I just said, that really disappoints me. And disappointment's a really good word to use, because what it says to the child is my expectations were much higher than that. I expect more of you, because I think you're an incredible person. You're not the kind of person I would think would do that, because I believe more of you. So anyway, we were quiet for a little while, and I just let her process. And I could see it was hurting her. She was on the verge of tears even. All right, she wasn't in trouble. She was giving herself her own, feedback basically, and learning her own lesson. And then I said, "What would you like to do about that?" Now, this is what we say to our kids. What would you like to do about the fact that you just made her feel like that? We let them have so they might go, well, I want to say I'm sorry. We let it be their choice, okay? So, oh, did you really? Oh, really, Eva? Well, here's what happened. I said to her, what are you going to do about that? And then she was quiet, and I said, you know what, Baya? How do you feel about that? Tell me how you're feeling. And she just welled up, and she goes, and her words were, I don't know, but I'll pay you back the money. And you know what? At that moment, lesson learned. I didn't need to give her punishment for her to learn that lesson. Clearly, the purpose of punishment is to teach the child a lesson. And if the child has learned the lesson without needing the punishment, why do we still punish? No other reason than we were programmed to do that. Right, that's it. What's the point of that? They've already learned the lesson now. She learned a lesson harder than anything I could have given her to teach her that lesson. That hurts when you realize when you really know you were wrong. That bloody hurts, right? It's like embarrassing. You just feel so down on yourself. You hate the fact you've disappointed someone you love. Those emotions are hard work to process. And you know what? And then you know what I did when she said to me, I'll pay you back the money. My first response was, wow, you found a solution that fast. I love that you find solutions. And then I just looked at her right in the eye and I said, thank you. Thank you for trying to find a way that you could somehow make that right. See, you're an incredible person. Like I always knew. And then when we got home, I never reminded her, hey, where's that money? She went and got it. She came out. She said, Mum, I don't have a $2 coin, but I've got two $1. And I just gave her a hug and I said, thank you. And I didn't overdo it or anything like that and try and pat up I let her process that. Guess what she just learned? She didn't learn someone told me it's not good to steal. Guess what she learned? I don't feel good when I steal. That's what she learned. Not, oh, I get in trouble when I do that. I don't like how I feel when I make choices like that. you couldn't have taught her a better lesson, right? Does that make sense? So let me open the line now. If you have anything that we've been on this one a little bit long tonight, but I do want to get that message across because it really can change your families. So go ahead. If you have any questions, I'll stay on here for another minute or so and answer anything. Or any comments, let me know what you might have got out of this, what you'd like more information on. What if the other person, don't make them. If they don't feel regret or sorrow, don't make them. Let them be real, okay? That's their journey. Then what you do is you teach the other person how to handle it when someone isn't sorry. Okay, you know what? You can't make someone be sorry. You can't make them be sorry. You can love it if they are sorry. You can't make them be sorry. So now you've got to learn, how do you handle your emotions when you want someone to be sorry and they're not? There's a moment of growth for you. Now you've got to learn how to let go of that, how to not need what someone else, someone else's behaviors. Cool? If they're not sorry, I tell my kids, don't you ever say you're sorry if you're not. If you genuinely aren't sorry, don't say that you are. That's a lie. Right? It's a lie. All right, and then you can talk, maybe then you go into a more discussion of why they're not sorry. What is it that made you feel like it was okay to be like that? Maybe they've got some good valid reasons that you haven't thought of, and maybe when you see it from their perspective, you'd be like, okay, well, if I see it like that, fair enough then. Don't be sorry. Think about it. There's things in your life that you're not sorry for, and people wanted you to make an apology, and like, boo, I'm not making no apology. I will not apologize for that at all. All right? Retaliation. How do you mean by retaliation? Like when same thing. So they don't have to be sorry, but they don't have to say sorry, but they do the next time. You know what? It was wrong for me to do X, Y, Z. Next time I will do X, Y, Z. Does that make sense? All right? It was wrong. I realized that I made a bad choice when I did X, Y, Z. Next time I will do X, Y, Z. The one who's hit turns around. The one who's hit, turn around and hits. Yeah, so then you pull them both up. The one who's hit, turn around and hits. So, same thing. How can we have handled that more effectively? Yes, he hit you, but, so again, just being conscious of, how did that really make you feel when he hit you? Tell him how that made you feel. Tell him how you're feeling. Don't show him with your feet and your hands and your body and hit somebody. Tell them. Tell him he made you frustrated. Tell him it hurt when he hit you. Tell him it is not okay to to come into my personal space and to touch me. Tell him what you really think, what you really feel. So we're giving them a way to handle that emotion that causes them to hit, rather than just saying don't hit. Teach them what to do, not what not to do. And then if they're not, he might turn around and go, well, I'm not sorry that I hit him. He hit me first. And if he hits me first, I will hit him back, and I'm not sorry for that. Okay. Well, fair enough. You don't have to be sorry for that. But do you believe that there will be a better, more effective way that you could handle that next time? Is there another alternative? You don't have to be sorry for the fact that you hit today. If you're not sorry, you're not sorry. But how can you handle that better next time? Does that make sense? Cool? So we're just getting them to be conscious and aware, and we're getting the other person to be aware of what they did, and all of that helps them genuinely, if they're going to be sorry, they're genuine. They feel remorse, and they wish they didn't do it. They feel that regret. Then they're sorry. And when they feel sorry, you wouldn't need to tell them to say sorry. So if ever you're telling your child that they need to say sorry, just know they obviously don't feel sorry, because otherwise they'd be saying it. So you either need to get them to have a moment of consciousness so they can realize and have an awareness that might make them sorry. And if it still doesn't, you learn how to handle the fact that you've got a kid that doesn't want to say sorry for that. Fair enough. Guess what? There's things that you didn't want to be sorry for in your life that other people think that you should apologize for. And you dug your heels in and went, you know what? I will not apologize for that. And you know what? I honor you for that. So, we're done for tonight. A bit of a longer one tonight, but hopefully that got some clarity. If you do want to discuss this anymore, come over to the Facebook group, and I'm answering everything that goes on in that group. So over into Powerful Parenting. Other than that, we'll be back on the line Thursday night, not for a parenting topic, but just for a life principle, spiritual expansion, personal development type topic. We'll cover that in 2 nights' time. So I'll see you guys back on here on Thursday night. Good night, and stay amazing.